Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you the end-to-end visibility features of RHACM, including the Topology View, Overview Dashboard, Search Features, and the Visual Web Terminal. First of all, let us have a look at the topology. You can see there are three tabs. So the first one is clusters. Let's have a look at the cluster. So RHACM is actually managing two clusters at this moment. One is the OpenShift cluster. The other is the hybrid cluster. Right. Next thing we want to find out is the applications. What applications have been deployed onto these clusters? So we can see that there are two applications. So the first one is Etherpad app. That is the one running on the Intel processors or Intel nodes. Let's drill down. You can see, well, you probably have seen this diagram before, earlier. So basically, it's saying that there is one application, has one subscription, have the payment rules defined, and it's been deployed onto my hybrid cluster. And it consists of a service, an ingress, a service for database, some sequence, and the deployment config map for the application, and the deployment for Postgres as well. So let's just have a look at the HTTP app and see. Yeah, you can see that this is a much simpler application. So again, you have the application, subscription, and rules, and then it has also been pushed to cluster, my hybrid cluster, and it consists of one deployment called HTTP with a webcast set, and there is one ingress. Now let's have a look at the policies. So this is the map, the topology for the policy called limit memory. So we got a policy, the payment rule is defined here, right? So we are looking for environment for depth. That means it applies to both the hybrid cluster and also OpenShift cluster. That's why this policy has been pushed to two clusters instead of just one. Click on this, observe overview. So here's an overview of all the clusters that are being managed. So the first one is a bare metal, which is my hybrid cluster. You can see that, well, there is one cluster, type is Kubernetes, one region, there are 4 nodes, there are 33 ports running, and cluster compliance, everything is compliant. The ports, there are 2 pending. Cluster status is ready. Back to the providers. If we click on the Amazon, you can see that, well, there are 2 failed ports there. So let's have a look at what the failed ports are. Oh, cannot see anything, so it's probably have recovered. Let's refresh this. Oh, okay, so there's no failed ports now. Now there's another feature I want to show you, which is the search. So let's do a search. We can do it in several different ways. For example, if you just type Etherpad, hit enter, it'll give you all sorts of information, including the role, role binding, service accounts, namespaces, secrets, deployment, endpoint, slides, subscription, and so on and so forth. Really comprehensive kind of information, but sometimes provides information overload. So that's why you can actually use filters to filter off things that you don't want to see. For example, let me just look at time. I just want to see the deployment. Let's see the deployment, right? And I also just want to see the namespace, which is Etherpad. So it filters out lots of information. So all you see is this: the deployment is Etherpad. In Etherpad consists of Etherpad and also the Postgres database as I've looked at. If you want additional information, you can click on it. For example, you want a related cluster. So that means this particular Etherpad application has been deployed onto my hybrid cluster. Related application, also Etherpad app, and so on and so forth. You can find out a lot of information from this. And if this is a search that you will be using often, you can save it. You see that when I click on the save searches, I can see the one that I just saved. So I can reuse that saved search. I want to show you another feature which is called Visual Web Terminal. Let's open it. There's a getting started guide. So if you open it, you see that you can run bash commands, ham commands, kubectl commands, or OC commands on it. So this is executing those commands on the RHACM hub. So let me first of all do a, say, k get nodes, or I can do OC get nodes, it's the same thing. And also in here, you can select a particular master or a particular node that you want to find out more about it. So it gives you the summary. So it consists of 4 CPU, blah, 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 etc. And then if you click on the YAML, you can see all about this particular node. Now let us do something else. Do a k get ports everything. So it's going to be a huge output. Say I want to look at the event or anything in a particular node, I can just select that one. I don't know, just click anything. Again, it shows you the summary, but this time it also have the events, logs, terminal, and YAML. So you can actually do an event to find out about all the events that have been recorded since it's got start running, and you can look at the log of that particular port. And you can terminal into it, or you can look at the YAML for that particular node. And then you can do searches as well. For example, you can do a search Etherpad. So similar to the search that I showed you earlier, like give you all sorts of information regarding this Etherpad application, right? So also we have something very similar to the search facility, which is the filters. Say I can say select kind, deployment, namespace, Etherpad, very similar to what I did in the search. So I hit enter. So it just gives you some limited information. And you can explore this yourself. There are many other capabilities or functions you have, for example, executing a bash command, etc. So I just leave it to you to experiment with all these capabilities. And this concludes the RHACM demo.